Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. I'm here with Carol Hughes, who is another Northern Ontario member of Parliament and concerned about this issue. So, Carol, thank you very much for being here. Recently in Thunder Bay, we've had some violent incidents where two transit drivers from Local 966 of the Amalgamated Transit Union have become victims of assault, and that's just two in this year, while carrying out their duties really on the behalf of Canadians, on behalf of people from Thunder Bay. Harassment and assault against those who have dedicated their lives to the service of the public is completely unacceptable to the people of Thunder Bay, Rainy River, and in fact unacceptable to Canadians coast to coast. New Democrats believe that we must both respect and protect those who devote themselves to public service. Transit drivers, due to the nature of their work and their inherent inability to defend themselves against aggressive acts while carrying out their primary duties, face a number of unusual and unpredictable threats in their workplace that most Canadians do not. Transit passengers and members of the general public also want to know that their safety is protected at all times, and the best way to do that on our transit systems is to protect our operators. Given these recent events in Thunder Bay, but also in other municipalities across Canada, from Montreal to Sudbury to Vancouver, it's clear that our transit drivers deserve greater physical protection on the job and legal protection in the courts from such threats to their well-being. As a federal member of Parliament, I'll be tabling a bill today to address the legal protections of transit drivers. My bill's titled An Act to Amend the Criminal Code, Public Transit Operators, will require the court at sentencing to consider as an aggravated circumstance the fact that the victim of an assault is a public transit operator. I hope this bill will act as a deterrent to such violent incidents upon transit drivers in our communities and complement what I hope will be more vigorous efforts by provincial and local governments to offer greater physical protections to our transit drivers while they're on the job and while they're serving our public. The bill has been drafted in consultation with my New Democrat colleagues from coast to coast, right across Canada, and I'd like to thank them for sharing their thoughts and their support in putting this bill forward. I would also like to thank the newly independent member of Parliament for Edmonton St. Albert, Mr. Rathgaber, who tabled a similar bill in the last Parliament and consulted with me on the drafting of this bill. I think I have more to say. In closing, I would like to assure members of the Amalgamated Transit Union and other transit operators across Canada who devote themselves to providing a very high level of public service that New Democrats and Canadians stand with you and are committed to making your workplace as safe as possible. Thank you. Carol, would you like to say a few words?
Alors, merci beaucoup. Et puis, je suis aussi heureuse d'être ici aujourd'hui pour donner mon appui au projet de loi de mon collègue néo-démocrate, John Rafferty. Il y a environ à peu près 3 semaines que le syndicat pour les conducteurs d'autobus ont venu sur la colline pour venir en discuter avec nous. Alors, l'enjeu n'est pas nouveau pour nous. Dans le passé, nous avons défendu l'idée d'avoir des règles plus rigides envers les individus qui ont commis des agressions contre les travailleurs des transports collectifs. Récemment, nous avons eu plusieurs exemples malheureux de travailleurs qui ont été blessés dans l'exercice de leurs fonctions. On peut penser au chauffeur de la Société de transport de Montréal dans le quartier Villeray qui a été attaqué par 3 individus en avril dernier. Mon collègue a mentionné 2 individus en avril du syndicat Amalgamated Transit dont il a fait référence. Je peux vous dire qu'à Sudbury, ou à la grande ville de Sudbury, récemment, au mois de mars, il y a quelqu'un, une des conductrices, elle a été, on lui a donné 2 coups de poing dans le visage, et puis c'était pas attendu. Le gars, il a seulement rentré sur l'autobus, puis il a dit que c'était sa journée chanceuse, et puis il a donné 2 coups de poing. Au mois d'avril, on a appris aussi qu'à Moncton, Maritime Bus Driver, un conducteur de Maritime Bus, Lui aussi a été attaqué, mais la personne est venue d'en arrière. Alors, on voit vraiment qu'il y a une demande pour s'assurer qu'il y a une protection pour ces gens-là. Alors, ces exemples illustrent le besoin d'agir pour protéger plus adéquatement les travailleurs des transports collectifs. C'est pourquoi ce projet de loi qui sera déposé en Chambre aujourd'hui est si important. En voulant porter un amendement au Code criminel, nous espérons que les peines contre les agresseurs seront plus lourdes et sérieuses, ce qui devrait aider à prévenir des agressions et diminuer la violence envers les employés. Alors, merci John pour tes efforts.
Merci, Carol. I wonder if there are any questions. We'd be happy to answer them right now.
Mr. Rafferty, it's
Yes.
not every day that the NDP is holding a press conference to talk about maybe these types of issues, looking at amending the criminal code. It seems almost as though you're taking a page out of the Tory playbook. So I don't know, is this some kind of strange effort to do just that, or what's behind what you're doing?
Well, in fact, whenever I put forward private members' bills or motions, they almost always are instigated by folks in my riding. In this case, it's Amalgamated Transit Union 966, Local 966 in my riding, who approached me and said, this bill, we liked this bill in the last Parliament. Is it around? Is it coming around? And so I said, no, I'll check into it and see. And that's when I had my conversations with Mr. Rathgeber about his bill, and he was very pleased to let me have his bill. We've made a couple of changes, but to have his bill brought forward. And so I'm pleased to do that. Your next question might be, is Mr. Rathgeber going to vote in favor of this bill? I didn't have that conversation with him, but I can assume that he was pleased that I was bringing his bill forward. So I would assume that I have his support.
But again, are you guys clearly you are taking a page out of a former Tory's playbook. Is that unusual for your party to be?
Well, no, I don't think it is. In fact, if I had been taking a page out of the Conservative playbook, I would have had a minimum sentence in this bill. I would have said, gee, you assault a transit operator, you got to spend 10 years in jail. No questions asked, because that's what they do with all of their bills. And quite frankly, that's the objection I have to many of their crime bills. The intention might be good for a Conservative crime bill, but what they do when they put in a mandatory minimum sentence is that they take, we have judges. Judges are appointed, they're appointed for a reason, to use their own discretion, and mandatory minimums take away that discretion from judges. And so I'm sort of fundamentally opposed to that. The fact that it's a crime bill, which I guess is what your question is, no, I don't think so at all. We're very concerned about crime. We're very concerned about this particular issue here, but crime in general. We just have a different way of approaching it and a different way of bringing bills forward that is very different from the Conservative way.
And obviously, it's going to be some time before your bill comes up again. But are you hopeful that you'll be able to appeal to other parties, maybe Conservatives, to try and get them on board to support your bill?
Well, I hope that since it was originally a Conservative bill, brought forward by at that time a Conservative member, that I will have support, unanimous support, right across the House. I may look at private members' business a little differently than some other people. I bring forward private members' bills and motions that have a hope of passing. I think that's my job here, is to use my one private member's spot that I get in the lottery to use it to the best advantage to get some legislation passed that will help all Canadians. And so I am hopeful that this bill will be supported, should it be brought forward, will be supported by all parties.
The other thing that we need to keep in mind is that when we're tabling private members' bill, it's an opportunity to have a discussion about the issues that are impacting on Canadians, and this is the right way to go. Now, if someone feels that that this should be moved to the forefront, we are often very happy that they are willing to take it and bring it closer to that line. So I think that when we're looking at this particular bill, it's important to realize that this is about protecting employees, and this bill is actually a step in that right direction.
And there are a couple of other things that can sometimes happen with private members' bills. One is that another member might, in an earlier spot in the lottery, say, you know, that's a great bill. Can I use that? Or what can happen, and does on some occasions, is that the government will say, you know what, that's a good bill. Why don't we do it, and bring it forward as a government bill, and have unanimity in the House on that bill. I don't know if they will in this particular case. That would be nice, because I think, you know, and you know, we have conservative scandal after conservative scandal, and I think that people who watch CPAC at home, or people who you know, sort of fleetingly watch the news, they must think that that's all that happens here, and really what does happen is many MPs attempt to bring legislation forward that requires cooperation, and people do work together, and we do pass good legislation. And so I, you know, I hope that Canadians, if anybody's watching this right now, that they know that we also work together on things. Thanks.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you very much.